Missing photos. So the three most frequent Lightroom requests that I get from people are either Lightroom can't find a folder, or in some cases all my photos, or it's missing some photos, or the third thing is I know I took more photos on that given day than what Lightroom is showing me. In this video, I will show you how to locate and fix these problems. It's actually, most of the time, pretty straightforward. It just means that Lightroom somehow just got out of sync with where the photos are on either your internal hard drive or external storage. And there's a number of reasons why that may have happened. But the good news is it is typically relatively easy to fix, as long as the photos just weren't somehow deleted. Hello and welcome to the channel. So I have set up a Lightroom catalog that actually has all three of these issues. And we will go through and look at how I go about dealing with these. So I open Lightroom, and at some point, I think everybody kind of encounters this problem of they see this missing photos. In this case, if we look over here, we see 31 missing photos. In addition to that, if I look down below, I see that there is a folder that has a question mark next to it. So that indicates that for whatever reason, Lightroom can't seem to find that particular folder. One of the first things that I do when I run into this situation is right click. It's actually a two-finger click on a Mac, but if you're working on a Windows machine, just right click and you will have this little pop-up menu that says with the find missing folder. So what that's going to do on a Mac, it's going to pop open your Finder. On your Windows machine, it's going to open up your File Explorer. So once we have this open, now we can go and look for where that particular folder might have gone. Typically, the best place to look is right within that pictures folder where it was lost. But another thing you can do is, we know it's, in this case, it's 2024-10-03 that's missing. So I could do a search for that as well over here. Put in 2024-10-03. And right away I can see it's showing me a bunch of different things. And so I can see that there is a folder there, but there's also one that shows up over here. So I wonder if that's perhaps what it really was. So let's go ahead and choose this. And I think what happened here is the folder just got renamed. So probably just as an organization thing. So if I go ahead and choose, now notice that over here now I've got 2024-10-03 exposure triangle photos. So it updated the name within the Lightroom catalog, and now it knows where those are. But there's still some things that are missing. And if we come in and let's just go back up to library, and there's a find all missing photos. Now I can see that there are 3 photos left, and it looks like they were from this Vining Sculpture Park. But even if you didn't do that, maybe you came into here and you were looking and you notice that you have this exclamation point. And that exclamation point, when we hover over it, tells you that there's a warning and it says photo is missing. This can sometimes be a little trickier. Typically what happened here is these files either got moved or somehow got deleted. Now if they've been deleted and you haven't emptied your trash, you can usually recover them, or if you have a backup, you can go there as well. Now if we look down in the lower corner, we can see my trash is empty. So that is not going to quite do it for me. But what I can do is I could say, okay, if I come down here, I can see that that file is _dsc2792.nef. So raw file. and I can go and then search for that file. So similar to what I did before, I'm just going to go back to the Finder, and I'm going to go and look for that particular file. So what I want to do is I want to find one that has a date that matches where that would have been. So these are all showing up in the archive. I'm just going to come through, and since I know it is a raw file from my Z9, I know that it's something that my Mac doesn't know how to interpret. And so it'll look like this. As I can see here, it says, okay, 2024 Vining Sculpture Park. So it seems to, but that's out on current photo store 2. So maybe that's not quite it. Oh, this might be it here. So now I can see there's one. It's just in pictures in 2024 on my hard drive. More than likely, this is the file. So how can I go about and fix this? Well, if we go and just right click on this and just say show an enclosing folder, this might give me some hints. So what I can see happened here is it looks like there were 3 files that got moved just up to the 2024 directory out of the Vining Sculpture Park. So let's go ahead and move those back in. Okay, so those are now back in. So those are moved back in, and now notice that those exclamation points have gone away. So Lightroom now says, oh, okay, I know where those are. I'm still seeing 3 up here. This doesn't correct itself automatically, so I can go back to library. I can run that find all missing photos again, and this time it should come back and say no missing photos. But there's one other issue that I talked about earlier, and that is, what if you suspect that there are some photos that are missing? And so if we look at, this was a recent upload, I haven't done anything with these yet, and I want to go work on some photos I took of some turtles. And as I'm scrolling through, one of the things that I notice is that there are no turtle photos anywhere to be found. So, that's kind of an interesting problem. Where did they go? And so if I look here, I see there's 116 photos total. So let's come back and let's just take a look at this particular folder, and it's showing me that there's in fact 122. So yes, there are some photos that are not there. So what happened to them? Where are they? Well, this is probably the easiest of all of the issues that we've talked about so far to go ahead and fix. So Lightroom has a function called Synchronize. And so if I go and right click on this folder, we see there is the Synchronize folder option. So we go ahead and hit that, and lo and behold, it says, yep, there are 6 photos that are missing. Scan for metadata updates, all that. So just go hit Synchronize, and it will go and bring those photos back into Lightroom. Now I see that number is now 122. If I come back in now and look here, I do in fact have photos that have turtles. So how could I have avoided maybe having some of these issues in the first place? Typically, the biggest thing that I see is people decide that they want to just better organize their photos. So you could see here on the 25th, I have 2 folders in here, one from Lindbergh State Park, another one from the Vining Sculpture Garden. And I also named the one from October 3rd, Exposure Triangle Photos. So those are just photos I took actually for the previous video, the one that I posted last week. So if I want to go and rename my folder, I can actually just do it right here in Lightroom. And before I do that, I'm just going to go back to the Finder, and we're just going to go back to look at photos. So let's just go up to the photos, or pictures rather, pictures 2024. And so we see 10/5/2024 sitting here. So if in Lightroom I go in and again right click, the 2-finger click, and just say rename, I can now add some additional information to this. So I'm going to say Wood Lake Nature Center. And go ahead and save that. So now I see here it says Wood Lake Nature Center. But also if I come back now to look at my Finder, I also see here that it also says the same thing. And I'll just expand that out. So that's the better way to do that. But what if I want to have an additional folder? Well, I could do that too. So if I come up here to 2024, and notice up here I've got the plus and the minus. So if I hit plus, I have a choice of either adding a folder at the same level or adding a subfolder. So I'm going to go ahead and say add subfolder, and I'm going to call this 2024-09-24, and I'm going to call this abandoned pool. So now I have a new folder. It's got nothing in it. And if I come up to here and just scroll down, I'll find some photos of an abandoned pool. Actually, I thought this was kind of an interesting thing. So I'm going to go ahead and just select all of those. And I'm just going to drag those now into the abandoned pool folder. And it's going to give you this warning. It's going to say moving files on disk. This is going to cause the files on the disk to be moved. So just like we saw before where it created, or renamed I should say, the folder, this is going to actually move the files into a different location. And what it tells you is that you can't undo this move. So that's fine, because that's exactly what we wanted to do. And so now we see we have our abandoned pool and we have everything sitting in there. I hope you found that helpful, and the next time that you run into this issue, or maybe the first time you run into this issue, you have some ideas as to what you can do to go and try to solve the problem. If you like the video, please give it a like. If you'd like to be notified about more, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and the little bell will mean you'll get an email whenever new videos are posted. Thanks.